The Friday Football Frenzy, sponsored by Foundation Solutions.
Welcome into week 2 of Friday Football Frenzy. A lot of teams playing out of the market tonight, especially the MAC schools, but we do have a nice slate for you coming up. It starts with 2 reigning conference champions out of the Mountain Athletic and the Western Highlands. Mountain Heritage, first year under Jared Pope, head to Irwin to see Rodney Pruitt and the Warriors. Irwin coming off its first conference championship in 2 decades, but lost a heartbreaker last week. The Cougars, meanwhile, rolled over Pisgah, but it's a new week, a new game. Mountain Heritage's first possession of the game, quarterback Braden Deaton fakes the handoff, spins right, finds Kaysen Jones for the first score of the ballgame. The Cougars take the lead 6-0. Warriors looking to respond with their next drive. Caden Ingle flips it out quick to Jackson Davis, which helps sets up the Ingle quarterback keeper at the goal line. That's going to get Irwin on the board. They take the lead 7-6 with the PAT. Cougars come right back down the field on their next possession. Deaton is going to fake the handoff to Irvin Rodriguez. He takes it outside, pitches it to Carter Bennett. That's going to be a nice gain for the Cougars. And a few plays later, Rodriguez would get the ball and he would get the touchdown. Cougars finish up the first half with a 14-7 lead. While the first half was back and forth, the second half was all Mountain Heritage. Bennett, third quarter, he takes the handoff for a nice run up the sideline. That's going to set up Rodriguez again to score on the very next play. The Warriors would score late in the fourth quarter, but it's not enough. Mountain Heritage wins 30-15.
Part of the plan was to shorten the game tonight, and I challenged them at halftime. I felt like in the first half we controlled it, we just didn't finish. And then in the second half, I thought we finished drives and executed pretty well.
North Buncombe hosting Rosman, both teams looking for their first win of the year. On the opening kickoff, the Blackhawks' Ryan Moffitt fields it, heads up the middle, and he's going to go almost untouched all the way to the house. 6-0 NB after a missed point after. It would not matter. Later in the first quarter, the Blackhawks starting from their own 1-yard line. Kingston Denson gets the handoff. He's going to go the length of the field, putting North Buncombe up 14 after they convert the 2-point try. That obviously ties a state record. You can't run any further than that. Moving on to the second quarter, Blackhawks going to the air. Lucas Keever finds Moffitt for the touchdown pass. Long one there, 21-0. They roll on 48-14. Some other scores around the area. Reynolds on the road squeaks one out over the Maiden Blue Devils, 27-26. No such luck for Asheville as they fall on the road at Dobbins-Bennett in Kingsport, Tennessee, 21-7. Owen and Cherryville there at the bottom of your screen, 28-27. Owen went for 2 late in the game. They didn't get it. Mitchell outlasts McDowell by 2 touchdowns. Hayesville squeaks one out over Inca. East Henderson visiting Madison. Let's start it up. Late in the second quarter, the Patriots up 7-0 when Caleb Griffin finds Gavin Galt down the middle. He is going to break 1 tackle, and he's off to the races. He's going to take it all the way for the TD. It's 14-0 at the halftime. We pick it up in the third quarter. The Eagles trying to get a little momentum going, but Dominic Smith, his pass is going to find Galt, who, if you may recall, plays for Madison. Interception, he's going to take it back into Eagles territory. A few plays later, Dallas Bartlett gets the ball, goes around left end, and goes into the end zone to make it 21-0 Madison. The Patriots are 2-0, 34-18. Heading down the mountain, North Henderson paying a visit to RS Central. First night's drive, the give is going to go to Parker Willis. He bounces it outside, shakes off a face mask, and scurries in for 6. The Knights would take the early 7-0 lead. But on the ensuing possession, Jaquise Smith for RS gets the call, darts through the heart of the North defense, and he is going to house that. Now, this was a consistent theme the entire first half. On the next North drive, what art thou talking about, Willis? Well, how about talking a little touchdown? Willis breaks off another long one, and the Knights are going to jump ahead 14-7 once he finally stops running. RS answers. They're at the goal line. Ryland Hawley calls his own number, and he's going to get smacked, but they give him the goal line. That means touchdown Hilltoppers. After both teams trade fumbles, North goes, well, North. Aiden Berry heaves a deep ball. That is going to be reeled in by Dylan Kleinknecht. That makes it 21-14 Knights, but the Toppers answer that. They force a fumble, and now to take the lead, Hollis takes it again. This is going to make it 28-21 with under a minute left before the half. North Henderson tied it before the break. Back and forth affair goes the way of the Knights, 42-37. A quick look at some other scores around the area. East Rutherford takes down Blacksburg Greenville Hurricanes all over TJ, Newton Conover all. Thank you, ladies. The black and white had a lot to cheer about tonight, but so did the black and gold. Upstate kicks off the WLOS tenure in Bank of America Stadium, and that is where we find Marvin Parker Jr. live at the Dukes Mayo Kickoff Classic. Marv, I see you somehow managed to avoid the Mayo bath.
Yeah, I don't like Mayo. I'm more of a relish guy. Thanks, Chris. Since the Dukes Mayo Classic kicked off in 2015, App State's only played in it once, back in 2021, when they beat East Carolina. Tonight, the Mountaineers play Charlotte, a football program who's only a little older than this kickoff classic. Both teams only won 5 games a year ago, 500 or worse in their respective conferences. Both hired new coaches. App's Dal Loggins itching to get his first win out of the way. Not much happening early, midway through the first quarter. AJ Swan gets the start. He'll go for the first long ball of 2025. It's caught by Jaden Barnes, who thinks he's golden. Charlotte's Jaquarius Conley doesn't quit on the play and strips the ball, recovers for the touchback. At least there was some drama. That leads to the 49ers kicking a field goal after an App stop on 3rd and short, and it's good by Asheville's Liam Boyd, former Tiger, former Tar Heel, now a 49er. It's 3-0 Charlotte. That's the first. In the second, after some Mayo, the Mountaineers get the nerves out the way and punch it in. Rashad Dubinion on the Wildcat keeper for the first touchdown of the evening. 7-3, good guys. Swan put together a complete game, over 350 yards, 3 touchdowns, and redemption for the earlier fumble. Barnes had over 100 yards through the air, and this touchdown, Dubinion ran for over a century. App pulls away their 1-0, a final score of 34-11, not and 11. That'd be interesting. So App State's 1-0, and Chris, is this a bad time to say I went to grad school at UNC Charlotte? Anyway, Charlotte opens up at Jerry Richardson Stadium, their home here in the Queen City, against the Tar Heels and Bill Belichick next Saturday. App opens up at The Rock against Lindenwood next Saturday, and for Mountaineer fans, it was a smooth Queen City night. Chris?
Since you paid for it, never a bad time to mention it, Marvin. Thanks. That's not the crowd waiting for apple cider donuts at the Apple Festival. It's Hendersonville hosting West on Friday Night Rivals. Bearcats came to play. Jerron Ward from the 41 goes deep to Amir Albany. He hauls it in for 6. 4 minutes left in the first quarter. Early second now, right at midfield, Jordan Buford skips through the Falcons' front 7, and then it's off to the races, and that is a race that he is going to win. That's going to make it 12-0 Bearcats. How about you smile if you're a Bearcat fan? Or a cheerleader. 90 seconds before halftime, Buford again into the secondary. He's going to absorb a shot and just keep on going. That touchdown makes it 19-0. 3 minutes left in the third now. More Hendo. Ward is going to fit it in a tight window to Jalen Wynn, and he does the rest. 26-zip, and capping it all off tonight, Ward is going to hook up with Albany again from 57 yards out. That makes it 39-zip. Hey, y'all, Hendo's good. They dominate 39-7.
I love my boys. Love y'all. Love y'all. Love my boys. I love my boys. Proud of them, man. We had a good week of practice, and they were focused, man. And we were not going to let this game slip. And kudos to them, man, because they did a hell of a job.
Big Oak Stadium, the place to be. Robbinsville has Franklin under the trees. That rhymed. Not on purpose. Panthers start fast. 2 minutes in, Anderson Terrell buys a little time scrambling right before finding a wide open Brock Bradley for the quick Franklin lead. After forcing a turnover on downs, the Panthers back inside the Black Knights 5. Garrett Young gets the give, plowing through for the 3-yard score and a 14-0 Franklin lead. It's 21-zip before the Black Knights are able to answer. Third quarter, Isaac Collins dives in for the touchdown, but it's too much Panthers tonight. They roll to a statement victory, 28-7. Tuscola travels to Cherokee for their first non-conference game. Let's get right to those highlights. In the first quarter, Cherokee driving. Dawson Panther goes back to pass, and it is going to be picked off by Tuscola's Elijah Pruitt, and the Mountaineers are in business. A few plays later, we find ourselves in 2nd and goal. Jet Bartley shovels the skin to Ty Walker, and this is going to put the Mountaineers up 7-zip towards the end of the first. In the second, Tuscola driving with efficiency. Bartley, one of the better returning quarterbacks in the mountains. Unfortunately, this time he's going to be picked off. Javin Garcia for the Braves. And I guess Bartley is going to find the end zone. Unfortunately, it's his own end zone because that's where Garcia is going to take it 80 yards the other way. Ties it up at 7, but Tuscola goes on to win a thriller, 36-35. Smoky Mountain hosting Andrews tonight. Sorry, we got there a little late. 6:23 to go in the game, and the Stings are up 44-0. Andrews quarterback Brady McClellan finds Logan Schuler wide open for their first score of the evening. But Smoky Mountain down into the red zone. They are going to put it in again. However, this one is going to be called back on a penalty. Final score from Silva, 44-7. All Smoky Mountain all night long. Some other scores from around the area. Murphy goes on the road. That is not a typical Bulldog score that you're used to seeing. Heard County 42-10 over Murphy. Avery County falls at home to West Caldwell by 6. And how about that Pisgah-Swain County game? What a final there, 28-27. Obviously an epic one there at Memorial Stadium in downtown Canton. So that does it for high school football. I want to remind you, tomorrow starts the ABC college football lineup. Start off your morning with the countdown to kickoff there in Death Valley at 11:30. We'll take you all the way up to noon. That's when Tennessee and Syracuse will kick off. They'll be followed at 3:30 by Alabama and Florida State. And the nightcap, Clemson, LSU, Death Valley East, I guess you could call it. It's a top 10 matchup. And immediately following that, we will have our first edition of Saturday Sports Night, where we will run through all the big games all across the country, all the local games that you care about. We hope that we will see you at each one of those stops. That's going to do it for us tonight. Thank you for joining us for the second week of Friday Football Frenzy. I hope you have a great college football weekend, a great Labor Day weekend, and